Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? DB here. I got my boy Kenny, founder of the Moonshot, the head of the Mooney Gang. You know who he is. We do a show almost every single week on his Twitch stream. He's got the best, sharpest gambling Discord of any gambling Discord available. Kenny, you ready, baby? You ready to cook up some PGA Championship nukes?
Dude, it only took me 2 years to get the invite onto your show. After
You've been on our show before as a guest.
Yeah.
You have.
But yeah, I'm fired up, man. I feel like you and I have talked so much already just about everything going into this weekend. I think there's a lot of money to be made, especially Thursday and Friday when the course is playing as soft as it sounds.
You look like you're in like cotton candy land, man. And honestly, if there were a cotton candy land, I would want to be there because I am a grown ass adult man that loves cotton candy. Like, I don't know if you saw Pat's soap video, but everything now in my life that I love, I'm just going to relate to what Pat did to that bar of soap. And cotton candy for me, if I'm at a game or something or a fair, I will annihilate some cotton candy.
My problem is any place that has cotton candy, it's a fair bet that they probably have funnel cake as well. And I can't stay away from the funnel cake, man.
See, I would go cotton candy over funnel cake in a head-to-head matchup. I love funnel cake, but I would go cotton candy over funnel cake.
That's an absurd take. That is one of the craziest things you've ever said.
I mean, I think most people would actually agree with me. People in the comments, drop it. Let us know what you think. Me and Kenny are going to get into some bombs here, okay? And because I will tell you one thing. My boy Kenny, this dude, he is a killer, okay? He's a hunter and a killer when it comes to finding just these obscure plays or obscure lines that these books throw up. He takes advantage. His Discord people take advantage. Our Discord people take advantage. So we might get to some outright thoughts here as we're on the eve of the PGA Championship, but I definitely want to talk about some placement bets, some top 5, 10s, 20s, whatever. But also, let's get weird. Let's talk about some props. Let's talk about how we attack round one. Everything about Valhalla Golf Club has been beaten to death. It starts with, the course breakdown video I dropped on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what day that was. And then by now we've heard from all the interviews. We've heard the pressers. We've heard takes from on site. We've been dropping a lot of intel in my Discord in terms of what we're getting from our boots on the ground. More to come on that today and tonight before our Wednesday night live chat. So we kind of know that, okay, Valhalla is going to play kind of soft. At least I think it's going to play soft the whole week. But it doesn't appear they're getting a lot of rain today. They've already gotten some rain. They've got Zoysia fairways. It's going to get rain over the week. And it seems like the books are, from the books to the prop sites, there's some differentiation. I think some of these books aren't really sure where to go. I dropped some intel in our Caddy Info channel on Discord about 30 minutes ago, Kenny. I don't know if you've seen that yet. But you need to go look at it because I think it would, I don't want to share all of it, but I think it would tend to back up the direction you may be leaning for round one. Valhalla is a long golf course. It's long. Okay. You're going to hit driver. There are a few par fours where I think guys could lay back to a 3-wood, maybe a couple, but I think for the most part, guys are hitting driver. Zoysia fairways are soft. Golf course is soft. It's going to effectively make it play wider. More balls in the fairway sitting up on Zoysia. I mean, you can just clip it off Zoysia grass like no other. And then it's mid and long irons. That's what it is. I think these conditions are going to devalue around the green play a little bit. And I think that I think you're going to have to be, I think you need to hit it a long way to compete here. But I think we're actually going to see some good scores round one. Overall, your thoughts as we are on the eve of round one in terms of how Valhalla is set up to play?
Dude, I agree with pretty much everything you just said because you're such a smart guy and you're handsome as well, which is a plus. Yeah,
well,
dude,
I do have a tan. I got burned the other day at the golf course.
I was going to say you got a little color here, man. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Dude, I agree with you. It seems like what I haven't found yet. I wanted to find this before the show and I didn't. If you know this number, I'd be curious to know. I'm curious what winning score the books are putting out there for over under, right? Because based off of what I'm seeing for round scores right now, and I think we can agree, it may play soft the whole weekend, but I think especially it's going to be the best conditions possible for at least scoring probably Thursday or Friday. I think maybe you can make the case it gets a little tougher over the weekend if they don't cut the rough down and the rough gets a little more dicey. But it looks like I think the books think the winning score is going to be -10, maybe even higher than that. And I disagree based on everything I've read in your Discord, the few conversations that I've been fortunate enough to have with caddies. Like it sounds like these guys think they can go out there and put up some numbers. And if that's the case, I think especially for round one, there's going to be an angle for guys to just beat their round prop. And I mean, on FanDuel already, they've got the round one specials. Like they just posted these like 5 minutes ago. So I haven't had I'll be looking through them live as we're talking here. But like, I'm going to have a lot of money invested on some round one stuff because it sounds like this course is going to play, despite playing longer. I think you still have to be a bomber. I think if you're a bunter here, you're going to just get blown away. But if you hit it far enough, you're going to just about anybody in this field, I think, is going to be able to go out there and make some birdies. So I think the angle is going to be birdies, round score unders, and some other stuff, at least from a round one angle.
So I've seen a couple of different things. A couple of days, 2 days ago on May 13th, so on Monday, a sharp book posted, and that the book doesn't actually post it, but the guy that runs the book posts it on X, that he posts the winning score of every PGA Tour or major event. And he posted the winning score at 273.5, which is 10.5 under. That was 2 days ago. I can't find the winning score on FanDuel, but based on what we heard today from folks on site, folks on the ground, folks in the know, they're thinking 14 to 15 under. I will say I was looking on ESPN Bet earlier, which I don't know much about it. I haven't really done a lot on ESPN Bet, but I was researching as I prepare to go on Pat McAfee today at 135, and we got to
humble brag. Congratulations.
You worked that in. But there is a winning score range there to include 13 through 16 under at plus 135. And it's like, that's kind of where I see it. So it includes 13, includes 16. I mean, I'd be shocked if it gets to 16, especially with rain, if the rough gets, but 13 to 16 under plus 135. I guess what we're saying is it's probably over the 10.5 in terms of score, but it might fall in that 11 to 12 range.
No, I agree. I think my only concern about betting that range is if it plays even easier than we think, and like the course record is in danger for the first day or two. So, but it
includes 16. Okay, it includes 16, and I think the last thing the PGA wants is for it to get to 17. I think they'll now we did confirm that today that Sub Air is on or has been on and is running. So they are trying to dry out these greens as getting them, as dry as they can. It is going to rain during the tournament. So they're not going to turn the Sub Air on during the tournament. So, I think that's one reason why, we're seeing the rough a little lower right now, because I don't think they're going to cut it the rest of the week. I think they're going to leave it. I think they're going to leave it as is, knowing the rain's coming, knowing the rain's going to juice it up a bit. But I mean, you do have pretty pure bent grass greens. If you hit these greens, you have chances to make putts. They're not complicated. They do what they say. They do what they appear they're going to do. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
I mean, look, our caddy friend says he thinks this course is like clearly and definitely easier than how Quail Hollow played last week. And Rory just put up 17 under at Quail Hollow. So if you believe what he says, I mean, I'd be curious if there's like a prop like for it to get to 20 under at like 5 to 1. I wouldn't do it. The price would have to be there, but I would be curious to see.
It's not going to get to 20. Now, ESPN Bet does have a 17 under or higher. I don't know what the number is, but they do have a set. Actually, I can pull it up right now. I have it up right now.
We'll see.
I just don't see it getting to 17. 17. Here we go. All right. ESPN Bet 17 under or better. Oh, it's only plus 170.
So then that line must have moved then. If you're saying it opened up on a sharp book on Monday, you said at 11.5. If you're getting at 10.5, that means this number has gone nuclear since then. But it doesn't look like. So if that number is moved, you would expect the round scores and stuff like that to move with it. And at least on FanDuel, I'm not seeing that. I mean, they're the same prices they were yesterday when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I was looking at that. And actually now, I said the 13 to 16 under was plus 135. Now it's plus 130. It was plus 135 30 minutes ago. So it's already starting to inch that direction. All right, so let's talk round one. Where do you want to start? I want to start round one. What are your favorites? What are you feeling the most right now? And I will say this, people, listen to me. You're watching live and you want to fight, you have access to FanDuel and you can fire on this. You better freaking get it in there. Don't hesitate, because my boy Kenny will absolutely nuke a line and you're not going to have the value anymore. So I do think that disclaimer needs to
I do appreciate that. So literally in the last 10 minutes, these are starting to move. Not a ton, but enough. So I'm going to have to, pretty much the second we hang up here, I'm going to have to start firing stuff in Discord. So I'll dig through some of the specials on FanDuel for round one, because I think some of them are pretty juicy. But just for a round one score, again, based on everything that we just said, we think it's going to be easier than it might be perceived, especially the first day. And a guy that I like this week for a lot of stuff, I do like Adam Schenk to make a little bit of noise this weekend. And you are getting plus money on him to shoot even par or better tomorrow. So that's going to be my first click. Adam Schenk under 71.5 round one score. It's plus 105. It was plus 115 when we talked about it yesterday, but we're cowards and we waited too long. But Schenk will be the first one. I like Schenk under 71.5 round one.
All right. Now I should have also thrown in this disclaimer. If you're new to Kenny, if you're new to Kilkenny, Kenny McAndress, founder of Moonshot, the leader of the Mooney Gang, he is a disgusting, greasy fella. So like he's gonna bring out some names that you're gonna be like, what the? But I'm telling you, he's the god in this stuff. I mean, wait till NFL season. He's giving you 2 TD bets for some dude you've never heard of, but he's hitting. So if you're like if you're shocked that Adam Schenk's name is the first name out of our mouths 12 minutes into this, you should not be. But welcome to Kenny McAndress land. Yes, all right. Sir. While you're doing that, I've got Schenk pulled up here. On Bet the Number, the model that I've built. He's not great on the model, but he does do things well that you theoretically need to do well here, which is he hits it far. 179 mile-an-hour ball speed, pretty strong for Schenk. Driving accuracy is close to average. His irons are definitely hot or cold. He's hot or cold, which is fine. Around the green play, better than average, I would say. Putting, way better than average. Could get it rolling here. Let's look at his major championship experience. Best major finish was this past year in his first Masters at a T12, which is really strong. T41, T24 at the 2022 PGA and US Open.
Played well at the Players as well. I mean, he's stepping up in the big boy tournaments, and really you've seen he got off to a terrible start this year. I think he was not that great at the beginning of the Florida swing. He started to find it within the last month or so. I know personally that he loves this golf course. And again, it's a combination of, I like how Schenk grades out here. I like how his game's been trending. And I just think for, even par feels pretty good. The round scores you're getting, it's anywhere like Scotty's over under 69.5. Most of the field is at 70.5. And then they've got like a small handful of guys at 71.5. And I think to get him at plus money in that spot, I think is a very good number.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we probably should have said this too. Like, there's no weather tomorrow at all. Like tomorrow, there is no wind, there is no rain in the forecast. Maybe a little towards the evening, but or maybe but there's basically no wind. There's nothing tomorrow. It's going to be as optimal scoring as possible tomorrow. So now tournament could put pins in crazy spots. They could back all the tee boxes up and say, well, we know it's going to be soft tomorrow and there's no wind, so we're just going to make this thing play as hard and nasty as possible. But we'll see. All right, so I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it with Schenk. What did you say the number was again? Plus
105 for even par.
Plus money. I don't hate that.
Don't hate that.
All right, what else? I'm going to get into some birdies are better too. I think there's some. So
I go back and forth here. I think I prefer round score more than birdies. It's just going to depend on the price, right? I mean, like if you're getting like if Schenk to make 4 birdies was like the same price, you could talk me into it. But otherwise, I think I'd rather go the round score direction. But if you've got a couple of birdie props you like, by all means.
I mean, I don't have any that I have picked out, but I'm just looking here. A guy I've kind of warmed up on as the week has progressed, and it's usually not a guy I'm on, is Min Woo a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's plus 115 to shoot 1 under tomorrow. That's to shoot under 70.5. That one's kind of intriguing to me. Well, no, I don't like that number at all. That's a terrible number. Some of these guys are. I will say, like, I was looking at first round leader odds too. I think I prefer, and just knowing what we know from players, I do prefer, if you're looking at making decisions, coin tosses between guys, first round leaders, I like guys that are teeing off at like 8:45 or 9 or later in that morning wave.
I think for first round leader, it's not really a market that I usually play pre-20. I think I'm just going to wait because it looks like 1 through 3 are tougher holes. You get a bit of a break at 4. Like, I think the birdie holes on the front are 4, and then like 7 through 9, I think are going to be your birdie holes. So really what I'm going to do is, if there's, I've got kind of like a, pretty sizable list of guys that I just objectively like this week for better or worse. If any one of those guys, somehow finds a birdie or maybe finds 2 birdies on the first 3 holes, I might just see what their live round leader odds are and just grab them there before they get to number 4, before they get to number 7. Excuse me. That's typically how I play round leader. But I think guys that are going off the front, if you see early birdies on 1 through 3, I might just look for a couple of leaderboard darts for round leader.
Yeah. That's another thing you're good at is hawking those lines live and picking those off. That's good. I'm trying to find some plus money round scores tomorrow that I like, and I've got a few here other than the Min Woo line. I'm about to dish out here.
I got another really, really gross one here. If I can float a name to you, I don't know if I'm going to get to this one yet, but I'm thinking about his round score, and I may even dabble in a little nationality prop for top Englishman.
Okay.
I kind of like what I've seen from Matt Wallace in the last month and a half. Matt Wallace has been quietly playing some sneaky good golf. Doesn't really flash it in any particular category, but he's just sort of steady Eddie. And again, I don't really like, there's not a lot of Englishmen in this field that I think I'm like deathly afraid of. I mean, I'll give a little respect to Fleetwood. I'll give some respect to Hatton. And then I
like Fleetwood a good bit this week. I will say that.
Fitzy, I don't know. Justin Rose, no. Aaron Rye, you can't wear 2 gloves in a major. I can't get behind it. So Matt Wallace at 11-1 for top Englishman. I think's got a little bit of sauce to it. And then he's the same price as Schenk to shoot even par. I think he's a little better. He's plus 115 to shoot even par for his first round. I may get a little crafty with some Matt Wallace.
See, I think that's a stay away for me. I don't like the there's too much variance with those Englishmen. I mean, I get you're getting the 11-1 deal. I think that one's a stay away for me. I like too much of some of those other guys. I think Fitzpatrick could pop. He feels volatile. I don't love him. Fleetwood's my favorite in that group. I think Tommy's going to have a good week. But all right, here we go. I've got some round 1 round score plus money guys I want to rattle off. Here we go. I'm gonna hit these quickly. Just give me a yes, no, pass.
You got it.
All right, I already gave you Min Woo Lee. It's under 70.5 plus 115. Shoot 1 under Min Woo.
Like it. Go ahead.
Sahith under 70.5.
He was my next click. I'm looking at him right now. I like Sahith under 70.5 plus 110. I think that's getting clicked.
So more agreement there on Sahith for me and Kenny there. Okay, now this one's. I'm asking you to shoot 2 under on this guy, but I think this dude is a little fired. There's some fire in the belly in this guy naturally. It's just born into him, and I think it could be coming to a boiling point based on where he finds himself in life.
The Spaniard,
John Rahm under 69.5 at plus 115. I think this could be he's under the radar this week.
Well, I mean, look, you have all the other storylines. Like it's easy to sort of look past him, right? You've got Rory off a win and off a divorce, which I think is massively in play. We saw the last time he called off a wedding, he went on and rattled off 2 majors. So you got Brooks coming off a win. You got Scotty winning 4 out of 5. You got Spieth going for the slam. You've got, just the phenom of Ludwig. And then before you know it, you haven't mentioned John Rahm yet. So
right.
I agree with you, man. I think he's definitely, like, if there was ever a possibility for John Rahm to be under the radar, I do think he is a little overlooked this week.
And again, obviously we are buying into, if you're just hopping in and joining us, we are buying into the fact that we think the golf course is going to play not much easier, but easier tomorrow than especially the lines on FanDuel have adjusted for. So that's what we're looking at. These are FanDuel lines for round 1. A guy that I'm usually bullish on in majors that is always long odds, always overlooked, and maybe rightfully so. He's a full-time DP World Tour guy, but he's made 4 of 7 cuts in majors. He's had a good finish in a PGA Championship. He hits it long. Jordan Smith to shoot even par. His under is 71.5. Jordan Smith to shoot even par is plus 115. Do you have any thoughts on Jordan Smith? That's a nasty Kenny McAndress play there.
I don't know enough about Jordan Smith. I look at it like it's like Jordan Spieth's evil English uglier twin. Yeah. But all I know is, he's had a good year on the DP tour, and he's a bomber, right? So it checks those boxes.
He hits it long and straight, like relative. He's second in the DP World Tour this season in greens and reg. He's first in stroke average. He's 99th in the world. Like I said, this is his 8th major championship. Like he's no slouch. He's no rookie. He's a legit player, and he's found himself at times near the top of major leaderboards. He just hasn't stuck around for all 4 days. All right, here's one. It's plus money, shoot 1 under. And I know he hadn't been playing great, but he's been hitting it fine. What about Justin Thomas? Even money, under 70.5.
I like JT this week. I've been buying JT stock the last couple of weeks. It hasn't really worked out for me, but I still believe. I mean, like the spike week is coming. He's hitting the ball well. It's classic JT. He cannot make a putt to save his life. But hey, Pete, obviously you got the PGA Championship pedigree. It's back in his hometown of Louisville. I think he's coming in with some good vibes. Yeah. So I like JT this week. I haven't bet him outright. Excuse me. I haven't bet him outright. I'm really, really thinking about it, but I'm playing him in pools. I'm playing him in DFS. And again, if we're just of the belief that tomorrow's playing a little softy soft, I can get behind that.
If you look at, so if I'm on Bet the Number, you can see that his accuracy, his driving accuracy off the tee has gone down. If you look recently versus if you zoom out a long range, it hasn't been bad. It's not terrible. His ball speed is still great. And so I do think he's actually closer than maybe it may seem. And he said that himself yesterday in the press conference. So I think JT, you don't have to fill it up on the putting greens to shoot 1 under here tomorrow. So
based on what we heard, it sounds like there are more birdie holes than there are troubling holes, right? So if you can just avoid a big number on some of the few longer par 4s and some of the tough holes, I think the opportunities are going to be out there. I mean, you don't even have to rip it up, but like again, the breakdown that I got from our caddy friend, it sounds like there are more birdie opportunities than there are bogey opportunities.
Okay, I got 2 more. 2 more round 1 unders on their score. Plus 105, Cam Young, under 70.5. I know he disappointed at Wells, but Cam Young has not disappointed in majors. He's basically, he's Rory-esque off the tee and with the mid irons and long irons. He's not Rory, but he's Rory-esque. I see a good week out of Cam Young here. So to shoot 1 under tomorrow would not shock me at all, and I like the plus money there.
I like it too, and it feels like he's a bit of a round 1 warrior too. I know we kind of we laugh about some of the other data sites that are like, oh, he's been round 1 leader X amount of times or whatever. Like there's a lot of bad information out there. I do think there's something to be said though about like just certain players get off to better starts. They just come out and they just happen to have it off the bat. Cam Young is one of those guys. I mean, I had him to win the Masters last year, and I think he was 4 under through his first 4 holes, and then came back to earth a little bit here. But if he's going to be in the mix, if he's going to have a good week, it's going to start immediately. He might even go out and birdie the first hole. So if you're going to play anything with Cam Young, I actually prefer him in round 1s in general, especially this week. So I can get behind that for sure. We're in agreement town right now.
We are. All right, I got one more. And I love this guy in a lot of ways. I love him personally. He's a great dude, great guy, been a great friend to us. I love him on X. I love his social media game. He's one of the sneaky longer hitters in this field. 16th in strokes gained off the tee last 30 rounds, 19th in strokes gained approach last 30. Really high greens and reg numbers, good around the greens, can't putt, but the last 2 weeks has gained 10 strokes putting with the flat stick, leading to a third and a fourth. It's been on to shoot 1 under tomorrow at plus 105. I love me some been on this week.
This is going to be the only one we disagree on.
Really? Why?
I don't have I don't have a really good case to be made here, other than it feels like the entire goddamn universe is all over Benny on this week. Like everyone thinks he's like this sleeper, and it's like he's not. He's been playing really good golf, and everyone's betting him. And it just feels like the entire world has so much Ben on exposure. And like I know he's found it with the putter just in the last couple of weeks, but the guy is just one of the worst putters I've literally ever seen. He fits this course like a glove. He hits the ball really far. He hits it straight. I mean, the way he hits his long irons is a thing of beauty. This is more of, I got to draw a line somewhere, and he feels just way too popular, and the market has way too much confidence in this guy. I'm just going to stay away and sort of avoid the car crash.
Well, it didn't need to be complete agreement town.
Nah,
so
of course
that's
not.
fine. I'm in on Ben on. Any other round one scores you want to talk about? What other? Let's get into some more props you got.
I've been trying to go through some of the specials on FanDuel for round one. I mean, dude, like some of these look really fun. Some of these look really, really fun. I mean, if you like your boy Rahmer to shoot 2 under, you can get him and Scotty both to shoot 3 under at 4-1. I mean, that feels pretty good. Morikawa and Day both to shoot 3 under is 10-1.
See, like, I think I'm out on Morikawa this week. I don't like the lack of pop. I don't like the beta lack of pop in the bat on Kawa. I think that's going to really bother. I think it's going to hurt him here. And it's one thing when his iron numbers have been what we kind of grew to know him to be, like, but they have not been lately. I mean, he lost a lot of strokes on approach at the Heritage, which is actually more mid and long irons than you think. He lost them at Valero, the Players, lost a little bit at Wells Fargo, lost a little bit at API. Like, he's not as dialed with the long irons as he has been. And when you're also shorter than average off the tee, I don't like that here. I know he's going to hit a lot of fairways, but I don't like that here.
What about Rory and Brooks both to shoot 2 under plus 210?
No, that I can get down with.
2 under, 69 or better. Yeah, Rory and Brooks both to shoot 69 or better plus 210. That will 1,000% be getting clicked.
I think that is. I like that one better than any of the other ones you've said. The Scotty Rahm to get to 3, like 3. Could be tough. The
problem with some of these, man, so many of them look so good, and then you realize they've snuck Tiger Woods into just way too many of these. So you just you can't really do that. There's one other one. Give me just a sec here.
Hey, by the way, while Kenny's looking at it, I want to thank our friends at Bet the Number. If you've not already gotten involved with Bet the Number, you need to. It's the golf data and analytics site that we use. We're pulling all our information from. It is brand new this year. Came out in January. They're licensed data with the PGA Tour coming in every single week. Good stuff. You can use code TJ to get $5 off monthly or $50 off an annual subscription. The code link is in the description of the show. And if you're a member of the Tour Junkies premium Discord, you can DM myself and or Pat and ask for a one-time unique code. We'll hook you up with a big, bad, better than anywhere in the world code for Bet the Number to give you a massive discount. It's one of the best edges you could have if you're betting on golf in any capacity, big or small, props, betting, DFS, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all there. Every week, the team behind the scenes at Bet the Number, who are at every golf course every week, are going to put together a model to kind of help you get started. If you want to just purely tail their model, you can. If you want to do what I do and take their model and build onto it because you're a control freak, you can do that too. Kenny, what do? Do you build your own model on Bet the Number, or do you just kind of look at the BTN stuff?
I do both. I look at the BTN one as sort of like a baseline, and then really based on a lot of stuff that I see on Bet the Number, and then stuff that I see in your Discord, I tinker with that, and then I make my own. But look, it's obviously it's your show, so I'm like contractually obligated to say nice things, I swear by bet the number. I mean, I'm an avid golf bettor myself. I've been fortunate enough to hit a couple of like really insane outright bets this year, and I credit bet the number for like a fucking lot of that, man. It's the best tool in the market for a reason. It's all that I use now, and I'm currently having the best golf betting season of my entire life, and I give bet the number a lot of credit for that. I seriously do.
Tony, we need to clip that. Thank you. Great stuff there from Kenny. All right, what'd you find?
Again, so the Rory and Brooks 69 or better. Where was it? This one I thought was pretty good. Do you have any faith in Cantlay? Because they've got Cantlay peppered into a lot of these here, and I know we've never been the biggest Cantlay people, but he's still really good. Maybe on a Thursday he can flash it. If this was a Sunday round score, I'd stay away. But what about Scheffler, Cantlay, Rahm, each to shoot 4 under at 48-1?
Oh my God, Kenny, no way, man. There's no way that's happening. 4 of those guys to shoot four under tomorrow?
3 of those guys, Scheffler, Rahm, Cantlay, each to shoot 67 or better is 48-1. Obviously I'm not exuding confidence here. I'm just saying relative to the number, 48-1 for 2 of the best golfers on earth. And, say what you want about Cantlay. I mean, the guy's really, really, really good. It's just a matter of if you think this course is going to play easy and play soft tomorrow, those are the types of bets I think you spread your $5 across like that. Like
that's
if I'm going to bet a bunch of round scores, I'm going to bet Adam Schenk to shoot even par. I have to sprinkle in some of these longer ones too, just in case we wake up Friday and we're like, oh shit, we were right. The course did play really, really soft. If that's the angle we're trying to attack here, then I want to find the highest value that we can extract from a soft course. So I'm looking for a couple of these bombs to, again, not go crazy with, but at 48-1, I mean, I don't really need a ton of convincing.
Yeah. I could get down with that. You know what I'd like to do? If that's, I'd like to do some 3-ball. What if we build a little 3-ball parlay?
This is a good week for 3-ball, man, because there's a lot of just free squares, like with how big the field is and all the randoms in there, there's definitely some 3-balls I can get behind.
I've been trying to every Wednesday night in the live chat. Now I do have to, I'm going to preface this by saying in the Tour Junkies Discord, my underdog props have been crushing round 1. I mean, I've been winning units hand over fist for people, but I've been doing these like lock 2-way, 3-way 3-balls for round 1 in the Discord every Wednesday night. Can't hit. I think I've hit 1 of like 4. But the one I did last week, I had a 3-legger, and I was like, these are the 3 most automatic. And I'm talking like I go automatic 3-ball locks for like a plus 470 or whatever it was last week. Round 1. These 3 cannot miss. Literally, the 3 that we picked all finished last in their group. Last.
So they didn't win. It was the opposite of
did not win. Like the furthest opposite of winning. So hopefully, I know I can do better than that this time. But I have some here that I think are basically kind of locks. I'm interested to see what you have. What do you think?
Just scrolling through, the first one that stands out, I like Straka to beat Nick Taylor and Kanaya. Look, Nick
Taylor's your boy.
Nick Taylor's my boy. I love him dearly. He's going to go down as one of my favorite athletes ever, based on what he did for me at the Waste Management. But man, the game has not been there. He's just really all aspects of his game have kind of tapered off in the last like month and a half. And then on top of that, even if he was in form, this is just not a Nick Taylor course by any stretch. Hits the ball low. He doesn't hit it all that far. He needs those firm fairways to get his runouts on his little bullets. And I just don't see that happening here. Now, admittedly, I don't know a lot about Kanaya, I think from the Japanese tour, but Straka at plus 115, checks all the boxes, in really good form. He was the first one that stood out.
Kanaya has played a handful of PGA Tour events. Believe it or not, he's played in 4, 6, 8. He's played in 9 majors. He's only made 1 cut, and it was his first one in 2019. It was a T58 at the Masters. He hits it nowhere. But apparently he just never misses a fairway. So, I mean, not a great setup here. It does feel like you're getting a Straka versus Nick Taylor plus 115 head-to-head there. So that is a lock. I've got that one already loaded. What else?
Dean Burmeister versus Ben Griffin and Andrew Swoboda. Now, I know you're a Ben Griffin guy. I like Ben Griffin too.
But I'm also a huge Dean Burmeister guy.
Burmeister's been ripping it up on Live. Dude hits it a country mile. And Andrew Swoboda is going to shoot 85 tomorrow. So if you're giving me even money, Burmeister, Griffin, straight up, give me Burmeister.
I have that one too. Big Dean won me 40 units when he won Live Miami at Doral, which is, you could say, has a lot of similarities in terms of what you have to do well. Drive it long and straight, hit your mid and long irons well. He's been hot at Live. He's got a special exemption to play in this PGA Championship. He's got to take advantage of it. These Live guys have to take advantage of it. Now, Ben Griffin has been hot lately. Like, he's kind of turned it up here, but it's not been on courses where, or fields. I mean, we're talking like Myrtle Beach, CJ Cup, Corrales, right? Like, not the same fields and courses he's getting this week. This is only his third major. He's yet to make a cut in one. He hits it about average in terms of speed, so I'm in on that one as well.
And the last one, I'm just doing one last little scroll through here. There's two that I'm kind of torn between. Don't like fading your boy, but he does, again, at least what I saw him bet the number, it doesn't look like he hits the ball extremely far. Pavone, plus 135 to beat your boy Poston and Y.E. Yang. I mean, this one stands out because of Y.E. Yang's throwaway. That's a Y.E. Yang's throwaway. So you're getting Pavone at plus 135 to beat Poston.
I don't know if I like that. The
other one was
because, I mean, Pavone is he's a little longer off the tee than Postman. Iron play's been a little better. But Poston can show up in a major and kind of do something. He could, these pure greens like this. I mean, I know Pavone can putt too, but there's not many better putters on. There might be 2 or 3 better putters on tour than JT. And if he's going to get soft, pure bent grass greens tomorrow, I don't like that Pavone literally just absolutely shit the bed in every possible category last week at a similar golf course at Quail Hollow to finish basically DFL. I don't love that coming into this.
So did Poston. JT was awful last week.
Yeah, let me look. Yeah, but he still wasn't as bad as Pavone. He actually was better off the tee and better around the green. I mean, look at the red on bet the number for Pavone.
I'm looking at the same amount of red for JT. No, so you say they both aren't that great.
This is a stay away. I think this is a stay away. What's your other one? You said you had it between 2. I have 3 more that you've not said that I'm kind of eyeballing.
I'm not. I know you're going to say Neiman. I'm not going to play the Neiman one at minus 125.
The Neiman one is the scariest one because of Tom Kim and Gary Woodland. So yeah, I think we throw that one out.
Like, I will gladly fade Tom Kim and gladly fade Gary Woodland as often as humanly possible. In round one, again, Gary Woodland continues to play half decent. The ball striking has been okay. Of course, he had a great round one last week. I took him in his 3-ball on round 2, and I think he had an 8 on the second hole, and that was all she wrote. But again, not to have too much exposure on my boy here, but I don't mind Matt Wallace to beat Josh Spate and Ryan Fox at plus 125.
Fox. I mean, again, you're getting the Josh Spate PGA of America Pro free ball there. Fox showed up a little bit last week though. Like, and Fox is a absolute nuker, so he could do something here.
I just, for the purposes, like,
Fox finished T4 Myrtle Beach last week, which I know it's Myrtle Beach, but he's got major championship chops.
Look, I'm very hit or miss with 3-balls. I don't play them all that often. I like playing them in events like this when you've got some of these free squares out there. And it's like, am I super confident that Wallace beats Fox? Like, I think I head to head, you would disagree, but I like Wallace better than Fox. And it's just a matter of, like, we can cross the other guy off. And if you're giving me, what I look at is pretty close to a coin flip at plus 130, then I'm gonna take the plus 130. It's kind of the same logic that I have with Pavone. It's not your quote unquote sure thing that I guess that you're looking for here, but I feel like you're getting coin flips. It's like, hey, I'm gonna flip this coin heads or tails. I'm gonna give you 1.35 on your side, I would take that.
Yeah, I guess it's a different because like the other two matchups that I'm looking at don't technically have the PGA of America free square in them. So that's where we're a little different here. I will say this, like Fox, I said scares me. I mean, he definitely suits this place better from a pure ball speed distance factor. He's one of the longer hitters out here. In my model, though, on Bet the Number, which I have ball speed, I have carry distance, I have driving accuracy built in with a little bit of weight, I have off the tee. In my model, Wallace is 39th overall. Ryan Fox is 112th. Now, big difference here. Fox's around the green play, mid-iron play is not great. Wallace is really good short game and has been hitting the ball better with his irons. Ball speed wise and carry distance, I mean, Ryan Fox is 18th in the field in ball speed. Wallace is 53rd. Just sprays it off the tee from time to time. I get what you're doing there. I think I've been burned a lot by both those guys, so I'd probably stay away from that one. Let me run you through these two.
Can you give you one more?
Yeah.
Pendrith to beat Hadwin and Keimer plus 125.
I really like Pendrith. I could get down with that one. Hadwin scares me a little bit like Poston would scare me, where he just like dinks and dunks and makes everything tomorrow.
Yep.
But I like riding the hot hand with Pendrith right now. I mean,
and Hadwin's been bad, dude.
He hasn't been great. I kind of like that one. Who's the third one in that group?
Martin Keimer.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so let's put that one in there. Okay. Let me add these two and let's narrow this down. Ben Alexander Bjork, and Eric Cole. Eric Cole does not look like Eric Cole anymore. Alexander Bjork swing speed is like Pat's. He's
0.
Like 162. I've already given my pitch on Ben. He's plus 100. I feel like Cole could come out and do something. Okay. He could. But I feel like Bjork is kind of a free square and Cole is just not himself, and Ben is hot and checks so many boxes here. The second one is a guy that if you've listened to anything that Tour Junkies has done this week, you've already heard me, give the P. Perry soap treatment to this guy, and it's going to continue until the week is over. But Keith Mitchell against Thorbjorn and Brendan Todd. Now, this one could be a lot of bias for me, and it is a longer number, so Ben is probably the safer play. Mitchell's plus 140. I mean, way better fit than Brendan Todd. Again, a dink and dunker. Olesen, a little longer off the tee, but not very long. He's basically average and can get hot. So that one's probably a throwaway if we want to try to lock one up. But thoughts on those two?
I don't mind the Ben on one. Again, I told you I was fading the round score, not because of a disbelief in his game. It was just more of, hey, everyone else is on him, I'm going to stay away. But in that 3-ball, I don't think I can talk you out of that. Bjork is as much of a bunter as it gets, and Cole has been really bad, and in particular was absolutely abysmal Saturday and Sunday at the Wells Fargo. Was coming off 2 of the worst rounds of his career. If he bounces back at the PGA, hey, good for him, but I don't see it. I think Ben at even money is pretty good.
Okay, so we've got Ben we've got Dean Burmester, which we like. We've got Pendrith. We've got Sepp.
And I don't mind killing Sepp here. I mean, of those 4, I like Pendrith, and Dean. I think as the top.
I was going to say, I think Sepp might be one of my favorites.
I want to keep him in. The 4 of them is 18 to 1.
All right, let's do the 4. Let's do those 4 at 18, but then let's do like what are our favorite 2 for like god dang locks? How did you rank them again?
I think I like Dean and Pendrith. Like I would say, give me one of those guys and you pick one of the other. I'll take Pendrith.
All right, I'm going to take Ben. So let's do. So what does Pendrith and Ben do?
Plus 350.
There we go. That is. So there's an 18 to 1 and a plus 350 3-legger or 3-ball FanDuel parlay. All right, before we get out of here, Kenny, what else? Do you have any outrights you want to talk about? Any placement bombs? Let's talk placement.
Yeah, I have an outright that I think the entire when I put it in my Discord, I even said I think the entire golf community would laugh in my face. They would say, "You're dumb, you don't know shit." Some dude on Twitter, because I was just like, I literally searched this guy's name on Twitter just to see if anybody was touting him. And I found one guy that was touting him. And the guy had like 1,000 followers, doesn't have a big account. And it had like 300 comments telling him what a dipshit he was. I'm like, all right, I like this even more. I think at 90-1, it's a guy that wasn't on my radar coming into the week by any stretch. I wasn't looking for his number. I wasn't jonesing to bet him, but I saw that he drifted down to 90-1. I don't know how you don't click Dustin Johnson at 90-1. I did it. Just based on price alone, that might be my favorite outright bet of the entire week. Now, I think it's probably a 50-50 that he makes the cut. I mean, if it's bad, it's really bad. He misses the cut and whatever. So I wouldn't play him for placement. Unless you're playing like a milli maker or something like that, I wouldn't play him in like cash lineups and DFS. I don't think there's a whole lot of there's not a lot of safety here. It's as boom or bust as it gets, but we give Brooks all this credit because he just won on Live. Look, I know he's the defending PGA champion. Dude's a major machine. I'm a big Brooks Koepka guy. I fucking love Brooks, so I get it. I really do. But Brooks's number plummeted when he won last week, and he's now down at 16-1. DJ took 7th, had a better Sunday than Brooks, and has had a good season on Live. And I think last year we didn't really know how to grade Live success because we didn't know how strong the fields were and this and this. Like, the field at Live Singapore was an order of magnitude stronger than like the field at the Byron Nelson. I mean, the gap between these fields is shrinking on a daily basis. So I'm giving credit where it's due for good Live performance. DJ won in Vegas back in February. He's had a steady year. He hasn't lit it up since. And then again, he took 7th last week. I think he was 5 shots off Brooks and had a really, really great Sunday. Now on a course that demands distance off the tee. And I think if it wasn't for the Netflix specials, I think DJ's number would be closer to 50. I think people hear his interview in laying up and they go, oh, well, in full swing. And they just go, oh, well, he's checked out. He doesn't give a shit anymore. He doesn't even care. He got the bag. And like, yeah, to an extent, all that's true. I think he probably practices a little less. He's pretty open about that. But I don't think he's walking into a major in full-blown not give a shit mode. And I think you'll know very early on Thursday whether or not this is a donation or not. But he was first-round leader at the U.S. Open last year. There's still a lot of good golf for him to be played. And it's just a matter of 90-1 is just a disrespectful number. I had to bet it.
I was just about to say he did show up at LACC last year, which was, I mean, he's been a little disappointing, I guess. You could say boom or bust in majors since he won the November Masters. And I think you're right. Like, you will kind of know early whether or not DJ's here. But so I did a couple things while you're talking. First of all, I went to some sharp overseas books to look at some head-to-head matchups with DJ to see like what are sharp head-to-head bettors doing. It's interesting, in one matchup against Will Zalatoris, DJ opened as a plus 108 to minus 138 dog, and money has come in on DJ. Willie Z is now a favorite, only minus 121 to minus 109 against DJ.
I don't know if that's DJ getting steam though, or if that's just the market souring on Willie Z. Which again, I love Willie Z. I want nothing to do with him this week.
Could be some of that. I agree. In the other sharp book, his line has basically stayed the same since open against 3 guys. He's a dog minus 103 to minus 118 Gooch. He's a dog plus 105 to minus 127 Shane Lowry. And he's a dog minus 130 or he's a favorite minus 130 to plus 107 Fowler. Now, that's just a little bit of context, but here's the thing about DJ. If we go and look at his odds, like if we just go to FanDuel here, okay, let's look at, and DJ is 90-1 on FanDuel. I just talked about this yesterday. I guess it was with you. I think I also said something on, I don't know. It comes down to if he is there. That's why I agree with you on the placement thing. Like, forget the placement thing.
Yeah.
Don't waste your unit on the placement bet. Because if I read off these names to you that are the same odds or shorter than DJ, and I say, which of these names do you trust more on Sunday on the back nine to go either toe-to-toe, run down, withstand names like Scotty, Rory, Brooks? Because those guys will be, one of those 3 at least will be there.
Yes.
Which of these guys do you trust more? Is it DJ or Tony Finau?
No.
Sung J M?
No.
Siwoo Kim?
No.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
No.
Jason Day.
No.
Minwoo Lee. It's just because he does cool social media videos. We have not seen Minwoo actually close on anything. Oh, bullshit.
He won the Scottish.
Okay. Sam Burns.
I liked Burns when his number. Like, I know his major history.
Trust him to run down those guys more than DJ.
No, but it's close. It's close.
In his first possible opportunity to win his first major. Like, the beauty of DJ is just like Brooks. He's just a mouth-breathing, just athlete, and he's just going to go and do his thing. He's going to stay right here. He's not going to get up or down. Like, in order of trust, like Tommy Fleetwood, my God, I love Tommy. I really do. And I actually think Tommy could have a good week this week. I have so much faith in Tommy. I could see a top 5 placement bet on Tommy. But do I trust Tommy Fleetwood or Patrick Cantlay or Justin Thomas or even Cam Young, who I like a lot, or Victor Hovland right now, or Joaquin Neiman, or Colin Beta Morikawa to close the door on one of those guys late on a Sunday against DJ? Hell no. And they're a half or a third of his outright odds. That is where the value comes in.
Really, I like the way you're breaking this down, because that's exactly how I look at when I bet outrights, especially at a number like this. I'm not really doing it really based on, I think, like their implied likelihood to win. It's just like it's a combination of two things. If they have it, is their max upside game good enough to contend? Number one. And then it's like number two, okay, if they have it and they're contending, do they have it between the ears to be able to get it done on Sunday? And for me, DJ checks both those boxes. The risk is there. He could completely implode. Yeah. 3 holes into it, you'll know. But again, don't play him in the finishing position markets. Just donate on his outright. And if he ships it, you win. Whereas other guys like Schenk, he's not going to win this tournament. I did donate a few bucks on him to win at 400 to 1 because I have to. But I'm going to bet Schenk to finish in the top 40. Like, I have more confidence in Schenk top 40 than I do in DJ top 40. And yet I think DJ is far more likely to win it. Like,
okay, here's another way to look at it too. Think about this in the live scenario. DJ is the same odds as Sung Jae right now. Okay. Same odds as Sung Jae. Let's say tomorrow, both DJ and Sung Jae go out and shoot 4 under, and they're either leading or they're like top 4. If you're the books and you're setting now live odds to win, to finish out the tournament, whose odds do you think are shorter?
Without name value
DJs
alone, it's not even close. It's easily.
Because then the books are going to go, like DJ's give a damn meter has gone up and he cares now, and he could actually close the door and slam it on these boys, whereas Sung Jae's not, right? And I think this is the lesson with picking outrights this week, especially because with Scotty, Rory, Rahm, I think Brooks, I think Bryson, and maybe even Ludwig, if his knee is not as bad as it seems like it may be. I think between those guys, you are going to have to take down 1, 2, 3, 4 of those boys to win this tournament this week.
100%.
So if you're betting outrights, long shots, that's how you start narrowing it down to say, like, well, I don't think he could do it. I think he could. I don't think he could,
And that's also the justification of taking somebody pre-tournament. Like, a lot of these guys, like you say somebody like Sung Jae. Let's say for whatever reason you're bullish on Sung Jae this week. You could probably wait. I mean, if he has a really good Thursday and unless he's like first round leader by like 5 strokes, it's a moot point. But like, if Sung Jae is 2 shots off the lead and at least 1 or 2 of those big dogs are up there with him, like you kind of need Rory, Scotty, whoever to be up there in the mix, because that'll continue to bloat the rest of the market. But like, Sung Jae's 90 to 1 right now. You could probably wait and see if he has a good Thursday and then grab him at like, at worst, like 55. Like, I think I'd almost rather do that. Whereas DJ, if he comes out and has a really, really good Thursday and is just like, oh shit, like DJ's here to play, he will be nowhere near 90 to 1. So I think that, the only other guy I would say in that range, and my boy Jeff's in the chat here, and I know that he clicked him this week. I ended up not doing it. I'm a little worried about the wrist, but I think the same argument could be made for Spieth. If Spieth is in the mix, his live number is going to get tanked.
That is true. I'm way less in on Jordan, but that is true.
I see it. I think I'm not going to bet it. I hope my boy Jeff here wins some money. God, I want to bet Spieth. I do want to bet Spieth.
Dude. Okay. He's played, let's see, he's played 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. He's played 12 events in 2024. Okay. 12. I mean, the approach numbers
Are bad.
Are so bad. He's only gained 1 stroke or more on approach in 3 of them of 12 events. That is,
a lot of that's the wrist. I mean, I think I mean, look, he said it himself. He's driving the ball better than he has at any point in his entire career. Even when he went on the Spieth magical run, like in the late 2010s, he wasn't driving the ball this good. Now the rest of the game was clearly clicking, but I think that explains the wrist. It's easier for him to hit the ball when it's elevated and it's less pressure off the wrist versus driving the club into the ground. My only pushback there would be because it doesn't really necessarily seem like it's a little bit of a pain thing. I think it's more of just like an awkwardness thing because it can pop. Eventually, he's going to take a long break and sit out for 5-6 months and just let this thing heal.
Yep.
I do wonder while he's driving the ball so well, does he just leave it all out there, play with no fear? And if he hurts it happens to blow up, he shuts it down after this. I wonder if this is you know what, I'm going to put everything I have into this. I'm not going to be afraid of these dicier iron shots and just, I don't know. I hear the argument against it. The wrist is scary. The approach numbers are really, really bad. It's just you're getting the floor, the career floor on Spieth pricing in a major while he's driving the ball the best he ever has in his life. I could see it happening. I could see it not happening, but I hear the argument for Spieth. And
if you're that bullish on him, take him 12-1 to top 5, and you can get it on. You could get it, huh? No. At
that point, I would never bet him the top 5. I would bet him. I'm going for gold or I'm not
winning this thing. All right, let's before we get out of here, because I promised some bomb placements. I have a few bomb placement bets I want to throw out.
What we talking top 20?
Anything. And here's how I'm kind of approaching this with some of these placement bets. For top 10s, 20s, and 40s, what I'm trying to do is say these are. I mean, a couple of these, especially in the top 10 range, I do obviously I think could win, but they're plus money, so I'm interested. But when I get to the top 20 and the top 40 numbers, I'm basically saying here's where I feel like at plus money, these guys, their upside really starts to, you're right here. It's like the needle is here. We're starting to kind of get the critical mass. Top 10. I think Brooks and Bryson both being plus money with ties being paid out in full on Brooks is at least as of yesterday was plus 150 on DK in the ties being included to top 10. I think I'm actually going to end up avoiding him outright because of the way I have to structure my card. So I want a little bit of exposure there. Bryson, I love this week altogether. He will be on my outright card. He's plus 250 to top 10 on MGM with ties being paid out in full. I love that. If you're bullish on Ben An, but you don't think he could pull it off and win, I think a top 10 for Ben An at 5-1 on MGM. Top 10 paid out or ties paid out. Love that. Top 20s that I think are teetering on the edge. My boy Jordan Smith is 9-1 on MGM. 9-1. Killer Keith is 4-1. Top 20 on MGM.
That MGM number on Smith's really good because he's 750 on FanDuel, not including ties. So that MGM number is really good.
He may have shortened. I don't know. Kurt Kitayama, we've not talked about, but Kitty's been quietly just kind of simmering. It feels like his off the tee play is really good. The iron play has been average, but at a course like this, it's going to elevate. He's 4-1 top 20 on MGM, and then the last one top 20. Is that would be another bomb we've talked about is Dean plus 350.
Kitty I can get behind. His putter has fallen off a cliff in the last month, but the ball striking is there. He's got wins on other big boy courses. I mean, he won the Arnold Palmer last year. He completely imploded this year. I think that was just the defending champion vibes and not really knowing how to handle that. I can get behind Kitty for sure. Not to beat a dead horse because I've talked about the guy a good amount, but what's the MGM number for top 20 for Schenk?
I don't know, but I have Shink written down as a top 4. He's on my top 40 list on
Yeah.
MGM. His top 40 is plus 175. And again, that's ties. I mean, and he's one I have written down.
I don't mind Shank. I don't mind EVR at for a top 20 at 6-1. You know, just guy hits it a mile. I won't say Matt Wallace again because you'll get mad.
Let me say this on the top 40 side. I had Pendrith written down. He's plus 150. I think that's great value.
Yeah, I think that's all right. The driver gets a little sprayy at times. You know, I think it's just going to be a matter of like how big of an issue is that here. It doesn't sound like it's going to be too big of an issue as long as you don't miss like terribly bad. The only thing is, like, at some point, like that, the putter in short game has to cool off. I mean, he's holing out everything, and he is making quite literally every single putt.
Well, I will say though, if I remember correctly, let me see, because I think
he historically is a great putter. I mean, it's
historically is not as bad a putter as you think he is.
No, I look at him as a good putter. He has been putting like peak Jordan Spieth.
2024, this year, his putting has been really good. And that's actually with his iron play kind of being worse than when he was at kind of his peak before. What you would think, like when your irons are bad, it makes it harder to gain strokes putting, right? But his putting has actually been really, really strong all year. It hadn't just been the fluky last 2 weeks.
I kind of want to, God damn it. I think Ricky Fowler is.
Oh God.
I kind of like, I gotta be honest, man. I kind of like Ricky this week. He's not to win. I'm not gonna go on the Ricky Fowler's gonna win the PGA Championship rant here. I think Ricky is just in the last month is playing better than his scores will show. Big boy, been in big moments. I just wouldn't be surprised if just, you know, come Thursday, you know, top 10 after the first round, Ricky Fowler's hanging around. I think Fowler is at least in play to be in the mix this week. The problem is with his name value alone, you're not getting the pricing on him that you probably should relative to where his game has been. But I like for 3 balls and stuff, I don't want to aggressively fade Ricky. I think Ricky could pop this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't aggressively fade him in 3 balls, but I don't know that I want much to do with him outside of that. I mean, I don't want to like proactively bet him. Man, he just looks like a different player than he was last year. He got that win. You know, he made it to Eastlake, and I don't know, like it just feels like he's like, oh, you know, I don't have to fight for my card anymore. I'm here, and then he just has shown nothing like what he was doing last year.
It's even looking at the number, right? It's not a whole lot of green. What I like though is it's just like bits and pieces of the game are coming together. Like to start the year, like for his career, Fowler's been a great putter. He lost 5 strokes putting the first 3 events of this year. I mean, he just was missing everything. He's found it since. You know, he gained strokes a little bit, and then at worst, he's losing a stroke here or there. Yeah. The around the green game is always going to be there. And then just quietly, they haven't been amazing, but the irons are starting to come around a little bit. And then the off the tee hasn't been that great. It's just every aspect of his game feels like it's slowly trending in the right direction. And yeah, he's just the dude's a vet. Has been in big moments before, and I just again, it just wouldn't surprise me if we look and you know Fowler was popping up. I don't think it would be quote unquote like out of nowhere. It looks like he's given us breadcrumbs at least, and I don't know, for somebody like him, that's kind of all I need.
We got to end it on that. I mean, that's a disgusting take. Like I said, I promise you disgusting takes from my boy Kenny McAndress. Thank you, buddy. Enjoyed it. You need to check out at kiilkenny on social, on X primarily. You need to check out Moonshot, the hottest gambling Discord you could be a part of. Join the Mooney gang. And thanks for coming on, buddy. Always love it. We'll see you in the chat tonight. I'm sure you'll have more takes, more thoughts. Pumped about the PGA. And let's take it down. I hope we're right on round 1. I will say that.
I hope we're right on round 1, man. I can't wait. Congrats and good luck on McAfee. If you don't tout DJ on McAfee, you're a coward. I'll leave you with that.
Gosh, you want me to? Okay.
Love you, buddy. Be good.
All right. See you.